Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations. We're back to watching more episodes of Star Trek Enterprise with the episodes The Aenar, Affliction, and Divergence. So let's look at the Aenar first. So this was, the third installment of a 3-part story, which included the episode 501 and United. And in this episode, Captain Jonathan Archer and Commander Shran travel to Andoria, a moon, seeking the help of the Aenar, an offshoot race of the Andorians, one of whom has been taken by the Romans to pilot a drone vessel. I gotta say, I kind of like the production, design of this episode, in that I have no way to prove this. I could totally be wrong, but I kind of like the artistic looks of it, like whenever they're on, say, the caves, and it's, and all that, because it reminded me of, I have actually gone to, Iceland before. It kind of reminded me of, say, they have, polar ice. The kitty cat's playing. So, it reminded me of, frozen ice caps in Iceland, of, caves that they have down there. So that's pretty cool. I liked all those moments. The, dramatic, moments, between the Aenars, basically they can, use their minds to think of, talk to each other telepathically in a way, is honestly pretty cool. I also kind of like the fact, they were able to distinguish, okay, this is a different race of andorians, in that they're not as blue as the other ones, although, I will say that I kind of like the Romulans and the Vulcans, they're still working with each other, so you have that going on. I do wish that there could have been a moment where the art, perhaps the pole or someone else could have, said, hey, oh no, it's the Romulans. And then, as a viewer, we know, yeah, the Romulans, they're, say, the distant cousins of the Vulcans, in a way. But it would have been cool if they could have also said, hey. I don't know, it would have been interesting if they could have just said, hey, this is what's going on. Yeah, I do think that the whole, basically the brother and the sisters, say, hey, we have a connection, and then, oh no, he's killed off when he's basically just when he basically tries to get their ships to attack each other. Yeah, I guess it works. Well, besides, say, the fact that, previously in the previous episodes of this series, of these episodes, you didn't really show who was under the helmet. Yeah, I feel like there would have been more of an emotional connection if we had more time to, say, well, who is he? Who is it? Instead of just, saying, oh, it would have been more of a,
oh my god!
I wish I were a bird.
oh my goodness kind of vibes. Yeah. But overall, I thought this episode was alright. And in this episode, it's another episode that's a two-parter. In this episode, the crew investigate the kidnapping of Dr. Phlox, and the ship is attacked by a new type of Klingon. Meanwhile, Phlox is taken to a Klingon colony to work on a cure for a plague whose effects include the disappearance of the Klingons' cranial ridges. I thought that John Billings, he did a great job, and that his role in the episode was basically compared to, like, say, other episodes that are geared around his character. He did a good job. That he was, he wanted to try to help the, the Klingons, and at the same time, it's like, say, well, I don't, like, if I'm helping you create a new race of Klingons, then, like, how am I helping you? Because basically, the disease they have caused them to look less like the Klingons that we know from TNG to look more of like the Klingons that appeared in TOS.
I'm used to the idea of dying. But I have no desire to die for the likes of you. I don't blame you, Captain. Lock up the Vulcan. Take the captain to my office.
And so I kind of like, as like a story element, it explains like, oh, this is why the Klingons look how they look in TOS. So I kind of like that. And there's also a subplot involving the character of Reed, in that he has been working as an agent for another group, which is, say, a double spy kind of vibes. Yet at the same time, like, he eventually, Archie goes, like, say, now Reed, we need to talk, because he basically is put under for, hey, why don't you tell us what's going on here?
Step into my office.
Why?
Because you're fucking fired.
I do have to say that James Avery, he did a great job as the general. And then James Avery, he was a masterclass when it comes to acting, man.
I've got a few questions for you. When you got this alleged confession from these two young men, did they have a lawyer present? No, because I'm their lawyer. Did you notify their parents? No, because we're their parents. So, officer, don't tell us to wait, and don't tell us to sit down. Just open that damn cell and let those two boys out of there, or I'm going to tie this place up with so much litigation that your grandchildren are going to need lawyers.
Overall, for the part one of a two-part episode, it's pretty good. When you have, like, say, two story elements, like, say, Phlox trying to, his doctor aspects of him going, like, question, like, say, do I do this, do I do that, how can I, do what needs to be done, and at the same time also try to make sure I don't, do anything that's going to be against, the do no harm label when it comes to being a doctor. So, yeah, overall, pretty good. Let's look at the episode Divergence, as the second part of the two-part story. In this episode, Columbia arrives so that Commander Tucker can be transferred to conduct repairs on Enterprise's warp engine before it overloads. Then the two ships pursue a lead to the Klingon rescue outpost, where Phlox is under pressure to cure the virus that the Klingons created from augmented human DNA. Well, I like that. At first I was like, you're bringing back the augments, and that, yes, like, say there was dramatic aspects in that storyline, but at the same time, like, I kind of like how they used it here, and that they used it to basically say, so this is how the Klingons were their appearances were in TOS. And, the one thing that made me feel like, I'm not so sure this story element was done well was in that Tucker went from, working on Enterprise to decide to be transferred to Columbia. I guess the thing that doesn't, it doesn't really work is, although, yeah, he has these feelings for T'Pol, it's not like suddenly, we gotta he needs to be transferred over because his, feelings for T'Pol are so strong. Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I just don't really think, well, it just didn't seem like, it just didn't seem like okay, now we're gonna go back to, he's gonna be away on Columbia in the next episode. Well, we're back to being on Enterprise. And by the same time, I still gotta say that everyone in the crew of the episode did a really good job.
Why did you attack us?
Shokvak Pak Vicha. Come on.
I have nothing to say to you, human.
That sounds like...
Klingon. There must be some kind of mistake.
What is it?
According to his biosignature, he is Klingon.
I think the moments that are kind of standouts from this episode are when Dr. Phlox basically tells the Klingon general, saying, "Hey, here's the disease. I've just put it on your ship. Oh!" And he has that big speech where he thought John Biggs does a great job, and eventually he goes say, "Now I'm going to give it to the captain," and then then basically he can say, "Okay, here, now I've got the cure." So at the end of this episode, it's basically said, "Okay, now we've fully finished the story of how the Klingons are how to look in TOS." Because they say, hey, they're going to be looking like that for many generations. So, yeah. And also explains the story element of how eventually that genome or, look would eventually come back. The ridges on the foreheads. And I guess I gotta say it must have been great for the makeup designer for these two episodes, and the fact that, oh, good, we get to do Klingons, but we don't have to do all the huge time strain of creating all the ridges and all that stuff on all of it for the foreheads and all that. But I gotta say that I thought this episode was pretty good. At first, I gotta say, when I was watching it, I felt like, ugh. At first, when I was watching it, I was kind of like, bored. But after having, thought about it, I had to finally say, no, I'm wrong. I had to think for a few seconds and thought, no, it's actually pretty good. But overall, what did you think of these 3 episodes with this two-parter and all that? See you next time.